You never know where you're going to end up. You never know where you're going to sleep. That's sort of the nature of our business. So let's talk a little bit about Katrina and Rita activation. When 500 trucks arrive, a lot of mischief can occur. Trying to segregate trucks by commodities in a small footprint with a lot of trucks and trying to make sure nobody gets hit, making sure they're getting fueled, and just making sure you have accountability is a real challenge. This was our largest evacuation in history. It was our own personal Dunkirk. We got 25,000 people evacuated on a whole lot of flights, 200,000 people by bus, mainly to shelters around Louisiana. So we had to get the parishes to buy in, and this time they did. They used their school buses to get the rallying points, and then we brought our buses in. But they had to have a destination. We didn't want them to be, because we don't want the bus drivers on cell phones or texting. One of the vast things, the vast problem we have is the sociology, psychology in this business. How do you craft a message to get people to do something they don't feel like doing? So we were telling people, storm coming, get out, and they wouldn't get out. Now it comes to be the 23rd, storm's coming, now everybody wants to get out at once. Fortunately, we were able to roll out the buses, evacuations in full force. So general lessons learned, all state transportation agencies must be involved in the very beginning. We've professionalized the industry. We train, equip, staff response teams. We're continuing to improve leadership, and we're doing a lot of mentoring and try to get the next generation of emergency managers. Based on our evacuations, Federal Highways developed a number of primers that are really good from preparedness all the way to return. And basically our motto is stay safe and train often. With Hurricane Irene, as you can see, it came right up the coast and it landed in Vermont and stopped and dropped 8 inches of water in basically a day because it was taking out bridges, debris was coming down, clogging streams, now it's taking out roads. It was a real mess. And we were able to provide a lot of multimodal technical assistance. So we established a toll-free highway routing number, especially for generators, because everything's got to come in. We were able to have FAA put in a real good air coordination branch, and we were able to employ the Civil Air Patrol so that Vermont Transportation and Federal Highway could do over flyover assessments. And we worked with the industry and government to help rebuild the Southern Vermont Railway and highway systems for foliage and ski season. When the governor and his staff came in, they were very adamant. Look, this state lives on tourism, okay? Foliage season's in 2 weeks. Ski season's in 6. So we needed to be able to move quick to get this state back on its feet. Our work in the United States Postal Service, we know how they operate, and we know how to talk to postmasters. And what we were doing was to get situational awareness. We were calling up postmasters and postal stations and saying, what's open? Can we put a 53-foot truck on that? And we were able to then, through Bob Hallett, put it on maps and be able to publish it. And now a lesson learned is that we have a direct feed at the bunker in Maynard to their plotters. Excellent use of the incident command system within transportation. We knew who was in charge. We knew how to talk to each other. We know how to cooperate. Great communication, great coordination, and very efficient, very effective. Superstorm Sandy hits, there's no planes, there's no trains. You're gonna have to take your own car, bring $1,000 in cash because there's no ATMs or credit cards because there's no power, bring food, bring water, and we immediately start concocting a plan to feed 1 million people a day. This was a great one DOT effort. Every mode distinguished themselves in this disaster. For what I learned from Irene, get a hotline so we can tell truckers, don't get off at the Verrazano. Go the 50 miles to George Washington. They know where the choke points are. What I need really is for them to share that information with us so long before the disaster hits, so I know really where things are and where their priorities are, so that we're much more efficient and effective in moving trucks, personnel, material, of all kinds in a disaster. MPOs can play a role in developing a regional infrastructure vulnerability and resiliency assessment.